Hi everyone, welcome back to Alice and the Giant Bookshelf. Today's video is all about my TBR for February, and there's a chance that I've got carried away. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name's Alice and I have way too many books. And from those way too many books, I'm hoping to get a few off my bookshelf in February and try and stick to that for as long as possible until the Women's Prize for Non-Fiction announcement comes along and probably causes me to reserve books from the library. Anyway, I do seem to have got quite a lot of books on my pile to show you today, so without any further ado, we'd better get on with it. I made a video very recently asking you to choose me a book for the TBR, and we will find out what that's going to be later on in the video. Before that, I have got a TBR here that is mostly chosen for me by other people. So the first book isn't actually chosen by anyone, although in a sense it is, because it's our FOMO Book Club book. And in case you're not aware of it, FOMO Book Club is the book club that I run alongside Gemma from Gemma Books and Jack from Spread Bookjoy, and we read one book that we feel we've missed out on every 2 months. So the book for January and February was this one, Tipping the Velvet by Sarah Waters, and I have not yet started it at the time of filming, so I will be reading this in February and it will be high priority because we will be talking about this book over on Gem's channel, I believe, at the end of the month. Very much looking forward to diving into Sarah Waters for the first time, and I don't know a lot about this, but I don't want to know more than I really already know because I am just looking forward to trying Sarah Waters' writing. I think this is going to be a really good historical fiction. Secondly, I have a book that I'm planning to buddy read with Mitzi from Mitzi Reads and Writes. And we're going to be reading this for the We Love Jenny readathon, and the We Love Jenny readathon has been started by Tiffany over at Beautiful Minutia and Chrissy Lewis, who I think her channel name is Dostoevsky in Space, and they have started this readathon in memory of the lovely Jennifer Brooks, who was a wonderful booktuber who spoke so eloquently about the classics that she read and everything else that she was interested in. I really did enjoy Jennifer Brooks's channel whenever I watched it, and sadly she passed away very recently and very unexpectedly, so this readathon is in her memory. I wanted to read this book in Jennifer's memory because she commented on my 24 books to read in 2024, saying that she thought I would love The Flight of the Falcon by Daphne du Maurier and that it would be right up my street. So I'm going to take Jennifer's advice on this and read this book in her memory along with Mitzi. I'm looking forward to more Daphne du Maurier, and this is one that I found in a second-hand shop and I had not really heard anything about before. So again, I don't really know what it's going to be about, but I quite like going into these things with very little knowledge. This will probably be the first Daphne du Maurier I'm reading that's kind of outside of her very famous short story collections and her sort of 4 most famous novels. I have 2 more buddy reads to talk about. One of them is actually a buddy read that I'd sorted out before I knew I was going to get everyone to choose my books, and that is The 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. I've been meaning to read this for a long time. This copy was sent to me by Charlie from Charlie Brooke Reads very kindly. The reason I've kind of put off reading it a little bit is because I originally got this on audiobook, and the audiobook was quite difficult to follow, I felt, but I didn't get very far with it. So I'm hoping that reading this with some other lovely buddy readers and reading it physically will help. So I'm going to be reading this with the lovely Sandy from Ms Reads A Lot, Gemma from Gemma Books and Jack from Spread Bookjoy. Very much looking forward to it. It will be my first Stuart Turton. This is a book about, I think, a continuous loop whereby Evelyn Hardcastle is killed multiple times because different people need to try and solve her murder, I think. But yeah, I'm sure it'll be more complicated than that. So that's another buddy read. And the final buddy read for the month is a buddy read with Gemma from Gemma Books. And this was chosen from my TBR for me by Jack from Spread Book Joy. And I've been longing to get to this because I read the first book in this trilogy on holiday in September, and that was the 5th season, which did appear in my top 10 books of the year. I really, really enjoyed it. And this is the sequel, The Obelisk Gate by N.K. Jemisin. I'm really, really looking forward to carrying on the Broken Earth trilogy. I feel like the only problem with this one is it's going to make me want to buy and read the final book in the trilogy, which is The Stone Sky. I won't say too much about this one because obviously it's the second book in a trilogy, but if you haven't read the 5th season, I would urge you to do so. I'm not really a huge fantasy fan, but I was pulled into this by the idea of the 5th season, which is like an apocalyptic season that happens in the world in which these are set every so often. And I really, really liked that concept, which is a bit more sci-fi maybe than fantasy, but everything else in it was very much fantasy based. And I liked it. I really, really loved it. So yes, looking forward to diving back into this world again. Now we go into all the other books that have been chosen for me by other booktubers and by my family. So we'll start with my mum. My mum has chosen me If Nobody Speaks of Remarkable Things by John McGregor, which has been languishing on my TBR for a long time, ever since my mum gave it to me and told me that I should read it, which was multiple years ago. And I think my mum has chosen me this because she would secretly like to reread it and would like me to give it back. So I am going to read it. I think this is a book about like an ordinary day shattered by some sort of disaster. I have read the opening page of this before and I remember it seemed really, really intriguing. And it says on the back, a terrible event shatters the quiet of the summer evening and no one who witnesses it will ever be the same again. I think this was John McGregor's debut and it's very highly thought of. I'm really, really looking forward to finally getting to it. Yeah, I think this is the only sort of literary fiction sort of book on the TBR for this month. Next up, we have my husband's choice, which was to read another Lee Child, another Jack Reacher. I was actually going to read this in January, but I've ended up rereading Bad Luck and Trouble because it's the one that has been turned into season 2 of Reacher on Amazon Prime. And because I want to do a book versus TV of that, I'm rereading that one instead of reading one that I haven't read before. This one's The Sentinel. It's the first one that Lee Child has collaborated with his brother Andrew Child on. So I don't know how this one is going to go. I do feel like a lot of the earlier books in the Jack Reacher series were much more appealing to me. I really, really enjoyed them. And lately I haven't enjoyed them quite as much, but I'm hoping that this one will break that trend. Looking forward to another Jack Reacher adventure anyway. So thanks to my husband for picking that. Next up, we have The Bookshop Book by Jane Campbell, which is a non-fiction book about bookshops. So really, really looking forward to reading this. Not sure why I haven't got to it yet because I am eager to read about all these various bookshops around the world. I think this was bought for me, not for my birthday this year, but the year before, by the lovely Ange from Ange's Book Chatter, and Ange has actually selected this for my TBR. So thank you, Ange, and really excited to have people pick me some non-fiction because I've been really, really into non-fiction in January and really enjoying it. So looking forward to getting to The Bookshop Book. And Gemma from Gemma Books has chosen me, of course, a really big book, which is Age of Vice by Deepti Kapoor. I won this in a giveaway last year and it is supposed to be a really good gangster story. I believe this is set in India and that it's a thriller. Might be a bit on the literary side of thriller, I'm not sure, but it has been very highly praised. I haven't heard of that many people reviewing it, so I'm really interested to get into this. And if you would like to see a separate review of this one, as it's quite a relatively recent release, do let me know and I will attempt to do that. The lovely Charlie from Charlie Book Reads has selected me To the Hilt by Dick Francis. I'm delighted that she's picked me a Dick Francis book because I have so many of these to read. If you've seen my entire giant TBR video, you'll know there were quite a few of these, and the one Charlie has picked me is To the Hilt, and I think that this one is about an artist, some missing money, and I think a valuable racehorse. There's usually racehorses in Dick Francis books. I do really enjoy Dick Francis's crime fiction. I think it's really well written, and I'm looking forward to getting back into some of it. Emily from Novelle Novels has also selected me a book, and it's the second non-fiction of the month, so I have got 2 non-fiction books to read, which I'm very happy about. Really enjoying non-fiction at the moment. And Emily has picked me one of my Christmas presents, which was a Christmas present from my husband, which is After Agatha, Women Write Crime by Sally Klein. And I do believe that this is about the explosion in women's crime writing from the 1930s onwards and how Agatha Christie influenced that. Really looking forward to finding out more about crime writing, particularly crime writing by women and crime writing relating to Agatha Christie. So I think this will be a great choice in February, and I'm pleased Emily has picked it for me. Finally, I hope, I have a book chosen for me by Dani from Dani's Book World, and Dani has picked me a classic. She's chosen Cranford by Elizabeth Gaskell, and I'm really hoping that I like this. I've been told it's very good. I've been meaning to read it for a while, and this book actually has Cranford and Cousin Phyllis in this, so it won't tick off the giant TBR unless I read both. Cranford is about 217 of these pages, and I think Cousin Phyllis is a much shorter story. That's only about 100 pages, and then there's quite a big appendix, so hopefully I could be able to get through both of these. You never know, but if not, I'm just going to read Cranford and leave Cousin Phyllis for another month. I'm very pleased Dani has chosen this for me because it was on my 24 books to read in 2024, and it would get me off to a really good start for the year by reading one of my classics. Just to mention as well, I will still be working my way through Dombey and Son by Charles Dickens. I didn't finish this in the month of January, but I'm still going with it, still really enjoying it every time I do check in with it. If I had time around any of these many books, I would like to pick up the pace on this one. Something that may stop me from that though is that I am still on my mega buddy read with Gemma from Gemma Books of Ulysses. So we've read 4 episodes in this as things stand. We're reading this at a pace of 1 episode per week, which at the moment has been working out at about 20 pages, but I suspect everything is about to get a lot harder. So yeah, wish me luck with this one. Hopefully we will get another 4 episodes done in February. That's it for my TBR for the month of February, apart from the viewer's choice. So you have all voted, and there's been so many votes. I've been really enjoying totting them all up, seeing your reasons for why you've picked these books for me. And I gave you 4 books to choose from. I'm filming this before the results are in. Results will be in a couple of days. So I'm going to hand you over to future Alice to tell you which book was selected. Take it away, future Alice. Thank you, past Alice. I have got the results of the viewer vote. There were so many votes, so thank you so much for voting. And it was really close between 2 of the books. The book that got the least votes was Nikki French, so won't be reading that one. Quite a lot of votes for City on Fire, which got 15 votes. Hopefully I will get to that one soon anyway. But really the voting was by far and away between Black Beauty and Hummingbird Salamander, and I actually didn't check the votes until Tuesday morning rather than Monday. I did have 1 vote on Monday night that sort of swayed it. There was only 1 vote in it, so the winner with 20 votes to 19 is Hummingbird Salamander. I will make a big effort to read Black Beauty in February as well if my Women's Prize plans don't take over, but Hummingbird Salamander was your winner, and this is now added to this TBR. Thanks very much for voting. And back to past Alice. Thanks for that, future Alice. I'm really looking forward to that book as well. Brilliant choice by all of you viewers. Thank you very much if you voted. So that's all from me today. That's the massive February TBR I'm going to attempt. Thank you very much for watching, and I do hope you will give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and consider subscribing if you haven't already. If you would like to comment on any of the books that I'm planning to read, if you've read any of them, I'd love to hear from you. If you haven't read any of them but would like to, I would also love to hear from you. Please do comment down below, and if you don't have a comment to make today, I would love to see an emoji maybe about your favourite book in this stack, or the one you most want to see me read. And I will hope very much to see you all again very soon for another video all about books here on Alice and the Giant Bookshelf. Bye for now.